Episode 4 was the most enjoyable so far, and I think most of you agreed. It set up key storylines, and one of them was Dru, Cane and Monet, and how Tariq would be treating the game like chess. They've said we won't believe what's coming, so let's hope they're right for episode 5, which is the mid-season finale. Welcome back to MovieBot, and let's talk about the Tejadas. Episode 4 set up a key storyline with Dru, and just about a week ago we spoke about Dru's character description and we spoke about his role going forward in the series, and I have to say a lot of you guys called it right saying that he was gay. So with that being said, I want to talk about how Dru could potentially be a liability and a weak link in the Tejada organization, and could he be the reason that one of the Tejadas could be getting killed. But for those that are new to my channel, welcome to MovieBot, and if you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button. But with that being said, let's talk about Dru, because we spoke about his character description, and I'll leave Dru's character description down below for those who haven't read it. But we're seeing this being played out now. His character really doesn't have a desire to be in the game at all. He simply just wants to draw, but it's not Tariq who exposes him to the college life. It was actually Monet. Monet was the one who sent Dru to Stansfield to keep an eye on Tariq and maybe even get information from Tariq, but Tariq is too smart and realized this is why Monet sent him. So he literally got nothing, and this is what Monet is worried about. He can't take his eye off the game, and I'm going to come to that in just a moment when I speak about Monet's speech to Dru. But just another one on his character description. The second part says, Dru becomes more determined than ever to separate from what seems to be his destiny, and when he gets involved with a member of Zeke's basketball team, his quest for independence could yield a deadly consequence for those he loves most. And we saw exactly this play out when he went to keep an eye on Tariq. He found himself with Zeke's basketball teammate, and what does the last part mean? It could yield deadly consequences for those he loves most, because from that, all I can assume is that someone is going to die, and it seems like one of the Tejadas, if it's going to yield deadly consequences for those he loves most. And I'm going to come to this deadly consequence in just a moment when I talk about Cane, but what I want to talk about is that speech that Monet gave to Dru, because she looked in his bag and found this picture, and I think Monet might know about Dru's sexuality as well, and told him that when it comes to the family business, Lorenzo's always wondered whether he can handle himself, and he's soft, but when it comes to being in that world, that's what Monet worries about, and warned him that he needs to be careful with himself, because not every man is like the Tejadas, and nobody's gonna have his back like family, and he needs to always come home. So I think she definitely knows about Dru being gay. Either Dru's told her indirectly or Monet's just figured it out, and Diana knows as well. But I don't think Cane knows. They've never shown us anything that about him knowing. That's definitely going to be interesting if he doesn't know and if he finds out. But Monet knows that Dru is a weak link and could be the liability in their family, not because he's gay, but because his head could be turned and he's soft. And if we were to link it back to his character description, Dru has no desire to be in the game, and he's going to be even more determined to separate from this, and this is why I think Monet gave him that little speech while Dru was in the shower, as a way of indirectly warning him, because she likes to have people play their positions, just like how Tariq explained with the chessboard when he was talking to Brayden in the episode 5 teaser, and I've broken it down in this video, so if you haven't seen this, then I'll leave a link to it in the description and in the comment section down below. But with Dru being the liability and the weak link in the family, Monet knows that the only one that she can really trust is Cane, and it's the opposite when it comes to Lorenzo, but I'm going to be speaking about that in just a moment. But with this scene here after Cane dealt with little Guap, and just a quick one because I questioned whether he was dead or not in my review and recap, and I rewatched the episode later on in the day, and he's definitely not dead. I think a few of you mentioned this as well, and well, with him not being dead and Monet cutting their supply off completely, they're going to be pretty pissed. And they've got nothing to lose now, so I think they'll be back to cause a few issues for the Tejadas, and I'm going to be speaking about that later on in the episode as well. But anyway, back to Monet's trust with Cane instead of Dru. After Cane dealt with little Guap, Monet said to him she can always depend on him, and let's link it back to Dru because she doesn't feel the same way about Dru. She sees Dru as soft and a bit of a liability, and Cane is the one who's a trustworthy one for Monet, and she can always control Cane. But Dru, if Dru goes rogue and if we see his character description play out like most of it already has, then the only part that only hasn't played out is the deadly consequence part. And I think one of the Tejadas are going to catch a bullet sooner or later, and I hope it's next week in the mid-season finale because we've not really seen a meaningful death yet. And remember how I spoke about the GTG crew coming back for the Tejadas again? There's definitely some unfinished business there. What if one of the GTG boys exposes Dru on social media? Because they've tried to do it once before when Dru went up to their place. I wouldn't be surprised if they exposed Dru on social media, the Tejadas went up there to deal with them, but one of them catches a bullet, and that could be one of the deadly consequences from Dru's character description. Let's wait and see how this one plays out, because the GTG crew are definitely going to be causing a stir one way or another. But I just wanted to say something quickly on Lorenzo, because he wanted Dru to step up instead of Cane, because remember how we said he wanted Dru to go and deal with the GTG crew, and quite a few of you guys in the comment section have said that you don't think Lorenzo is Cane's father, and I think you she could be onto something because Lorenzo doesn't seem to be too keen on Cane. He seems like he may be a bit of a loose cannon and he's not a very good decision maker. He just takes orders. If this is the case, then I've already spoken about Kanan potentially getting into bed with Monet a while ago because both of them are not saints. So it could well turn out to be that Cane is Kane's father and not Lorenzo. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, post them down below. Could one of the Tejadas catch a bullet in the next episode? And do you think Cane is Lorenzo's son? So post all your thoughts down below, and if you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a video on Tariq's love triangle involving Diana, Lauren and Effie, so watch out for that video. I'll hopefully get that up for you tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.